Welcome back to Money and Politics in Delaware. Welcome to the program, Stuart Diamond. And it's nice to be here.
Stuart, good to be here also.
Yeah. Stuart Diamond is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist, professor, attorney, entrepreneur, and author who has taught negotiation for more than 20 years at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of Business. And Professor Diamond's widely acclaimed book on negotiation, Getting More, was a 2011 New York Times bestseller and is used by Google to train its employees worldwide. Book sold over 1 million copies and has been translated into 15 languages. You're coming to Delaware, but before I give that plug, let's turn back to you. Again, welcome, but in the intro, anything you want to add?
Only that I'm the proud negotiator with my 13-year-old son.
I'm betting on him, by the way. Let's talk about your visit to Delaware. When? Thursday, October 29, 2015, 7:30 a.m. to 10. It's the Dravo Room at the Chase Center on the riverfront. You're a guest of Leadership Delaware. And for those out in Radio Land, visit the Leadership Delaware website to register. Again, Thursday, October 29, 7:30 to 10 a.m. down at the riverfront. We'll plug it at the end also. But with that said, talk to us, Professor Diamond. Tell us about the book, Getting More.
Sure. Over a 25-year period, I and my researchers interviewed and taught and trained more than 30,000 people in over 50 countries to try to figure out why the world was so screwed up. And we discovered that most of what people have learned about dealing with others since they were kids is wrong, which is to say that power, leverage, logic, things like that do not actually meet one's goals very well. And instead, finding, understanding, and valuing the pictures in their heads, their perceptions and emotions, creates 4 times as much value, twice as many deals, and each deals get twice as much for 2 reasons. Number one, if you understand their perceptions, you've got a better starting point for negotiation. If you value their perceptions, they're more likely to go along with you. So that the right answer to the statement, I hate you, is tell me more. Or answer to the statement, I don't like your company, is what do you like more about our competitors? It's impossible not to answer that question, and the answer will give you the means to persuade them. One other thing I think it's important to note is we also train the Navy SEALs and the Special Ops military. They've discovered by using this model that if they make human connection with tribal leaders, the tribal leaders will tell them where the enemy is and where the bomb is buried in the road, and fewer soldiers die. And so this is a counterintuitive, different way of thinking about human interaction. Google's made an estimated $6 billion on this in extra revenues, which means that what we see on television, what we see in the media about the way people should negotiate, it can get deals done, but it's highly transactional and over the long term does not create value and in fact costs the United States billions of dollars in higher transaction costs and less creativity.
Give us a little bit more now. Bear with me. I spent a lifetime in sales, so it sounds like at some level you're trying to connect to the other side and gain that trust, the basis of sales. But yours is more than just a transaction. You're driving, and it's not a relationship. Those are key words. How's
it is a
Different?
relationship.
Okay.
It's different because it's individual to the people involved. There is no one-size-fits-all. There's no way to negotiate with a particular large subculture or culture. It's just about the people, different people on different days. And really, that's really a key here. It requires people to process a lot more information about the people and the situation, but it's more precise. Let me give you an interesting example from Google. Google, one of the people I've trained there to train for me, wanted to do a deal a couple of years ago to double Google's fiber optic capacity in one of its U.S. offices. The first part had cost $6 million 2 years before, and the vendor wanted another $6 million. Instead of asking for a discount as a repeat customer, this guy from Google decided to make a human connection and said, what can I do for you? And the vendor said, you can write me a letter of reference on Google Stationery to build my business. And this guy said, fine. And then he said, what can you do for me? And the vendor decided to give Google a discount off the $6 million price to $6,000, a 99.9% discount because this guy made a human connection. And so people sort of know this, but they don't do it because they get emotional. They say, well, this is just common sense, to which I refer people to the words of Mark Twain, who said common sense is not all that common. What I provide in Getting More is a structure, a 20-step process and a structure that you can replicate in every sort of human interaction, including with your kids. It's easy to negotiate with my kid. I trade him stuff. You can, if you feel like you can clean your room, I feel I can get you Legos. Should we not do things for each other? So I just want to know how we do it.
By the way, when you come to Delaware in a couple of days, will you be laying out that structure of 20 points?
Oh, you bet. Step by step on how you do it, soup to nuts. And really, it can change people's lives as it has around the world.
And on your side,
from parents to CEOs.
Yeah, in the bio, you've worked with the National Football League. What are you doing with those folks? I mean, they've had so much.
No, I actually trained the CFO of the National Football League, and I have given them advice from time to time on things like violence and so forth. And so, one of the issues is that if you just treat the symptom and don't ask why, you never get to the problem. If you treat the symptoms in Ferguson, murder, or violence in the NFL, you never get to. You have to find out what is it that caused this to happen. So in Ferguson, it's training. In the NFL, maybe it's the whole environment in which people live. And so instead of discussing with my family or my colleagues who's at fault, who's wrong, I say, what kind of environment have we created here? And can we create a different environment? And there are companies like Southwest in which the CEO has created a different environment. And as a result of that, employees give the company a lot more because they get a lot more back. And so this is really something which starts with them. Instead of saying, I deserve a raise, you need to say, how do I meet your needs enough that I get a raise? It's got to start with them. It's a small change in language and a big difference in results.
By the way, tick-tock on the clock. We're going to run out of time. I've had limited time with you, but I find you a fascinating guy. We did it the other day on the phone, but let's put it on the air. You're a Pulitzer Prize winner. I know we're going back in time, but that's a fascinating story. Share it with the audience, please.
Sure. I was on a team that won a Pulitzer at the New York Times for the Space Shuttle Challenger accident in 1986. We won the Pulitzer in 87. And what I did, my series, I documented and got a hold of 35,000 pages of documents that were internal and a lot of interviews, and found out that NASA had wasted $500 million by not doing on various machinations there, did not spend it on space shuttle safety, and wasn't truthful to Congress about it.
Wow. And you're getting ready, we're taping Friday mid-morning, and you're getting ready to go on a plane. What are you doing in Germany?
I'm doing some training for the military in Germany and Africa. And then doing some things back here for the medical. We do a lot for the medical profession because whether patients take their meds a lot, whether doctors get along with nurses, that saves lives if you do it right. So we do a lot of work for the medical profession also.
Okay. And the book, Getting More, it's give us the 10-second skinny. Amazon, that's where I go buy it?
You can go buy it at Amazon, or a bookstore, or you could write us at or sign on to www.gettingmore.com. Either way, it's in circulation.
Very good. That's what I was plugging. His name is
Thank you.
Dr. Stuart. Excuse me. He's a professor, if you will. He is Dr. Stuart Diamond. The book is called Getting More. Let's make sure we get that one out there. And then he is coming to Delaware Thursday, October 29th, 7:30 a.m. to 10. Dravo Room at the Chase Center on the riverfront. You go to the Leadership Delaware website to register. We thank him. Fascinating guy, great guest. When we come back from break, hold on. We're talking Dave Stevenson and HSAs. We will be